Turn that down real quick. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I just wanted to make sure that I can see all of you. You can all see me. We're going to get started in a couple of seconds. This is going to be so much fun. I just can't wait. It's going to be a blast. So I'm going to give people a couple of seconds to hop on. So we're going to listen to some trap because I love trap. So enjoy. Let's get this music off. Okay, hi guys, how are you? So, I know you guys enjoyed that music. It's really good. I enjoy it all the time. But my name is Tamika Biswam, and I'm just so excited that you got on. I'm not sure why you got on, but I'm excited that you hopped on. What I want to do first is, just say welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we're going to talk about compound interest and the beauty in it and some ways that you can really utilize certain tools. And I think that we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So just bear with me. I'm going to have a couple of special guests on towards the end. It'll be really awesome. You'll get to hear from them, all different kinds of people from different backgrounds. So it's going to be really fun. So I'm just going to hop right into it. So you won't see me anymore. I know you're going to miss all of this cuteness, but I'm going to hop right into the presentation. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Okay, here we go, share screen. All right. Okay. I feel like you should be able to see everything that I see. I'm hoping so. All right. I'm going to double check to make sure that you can see everything that I see. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now I know you can see what I can see. Cool stuff. So thanks again for hopping on. I'm gonna see if I can move this thing because it's in such an awkward place. Okay, there we go. I like it there better. All right, awesome. Well, I'll tell you, my name is Tamika Bismam, call me Tamika B. And I really want you to get this in your mind. I really want you to think about this, freeing yourself, right? What does free yourself mean for you? And this presentation is brought to you by myself and Next Level Freedom. I'm one of the co-founders, but I definitely want you to keep that in mind. There's a couple things that I'll tell you that I want you to keep in mind, and this is one of them, freeing yourself. And that could mean anything to you. I'm just going to show you one way because there's so many ways to do it, but I'm going to show you one way that you can really utilize that. So again, I just want to say welcome, 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 welcome out. And also give yourself a round of applause. I'm clapping for you, you know, and tell the person who actually told you to hop on, thank you as well, because this is going to be some really interesting information. And if you use it, it's going to benefit you. So the person who brought you on really cares about you. So just thank them for having you come on. Now, today's objective, honestly, is to create a plan, right? That's the main objective. And the other things that I want to do is I'm going to introduce myself. I'll introduce you to a special guest towards the end. And I want to give you some information and give you a plan, like a plan that you could use if you choose to use this one. Of course, there's so many other options, but I'm going to give you one that you can actually use for yourself, okay? So before I do all that, remember I told you I wanted to introduce myself. So this is me in a nutshell. There's a lot more stuff, but I'll give you like a little background. These are my two beautiful children, my young queen and my young king, and they mean the world to me, you know. But maybe 6 years ago, I was a stereotype, ended up in shelter, and it was terrible, you know. This woman in the middle picture you see there, that's my beautiful grandmother. I love her with all of my heart. And she told me to keep the faith, and she's one of the strongest women I know. So I listened to her, and I kept the faith, and I kept praying, and things started changing for me. I started meeting some really interesting people, entrepreneurs, business owners, investors. It was just crazy when you decide to change your mindset. One, so this is tip one, you got to change your own mindset so that you can get the things that you want out of life. And then two, the other thing is there's no such thing as coincidences, right? So in that top picture, you see a couple of little coins, and that's me building legacy. So that's the third thing on this slide that I would love for you to understand, building legacy. Each year you get a new item, and that little diamond thing that you see there is something my daughter gave me a couple years ago that I just always kept with me. It was when we were at one of our lowest points in life, but you know, I always kept it with me. So I've been with the company for 2.5 years now and just seen some amazing things happen in my life. So in order to build legacy, you definitely have to do it for a long time. And then the last picture you see is just some people that I really love. That's Next Level Freedom right there. So this is a little bit about me, but enough about me. Let's get into why you actually came out today. Now, first tip I have here is reading books. So when I started meeting all these awesome people, they taught me that one of the things that I was missing in life is that I don't do any personal development. So I started reading books, and I read this really cool book that showed me this right here. 4 ways to produce income, right? And the name of the book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It is a book that is a life changer. So if you didn't hear that, just replay, but you definitely want to read that book. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Now, let me tell you one of the things that they talk about in this book, because there's so many things, but let's just talk about this right here, this in front of you. Now, you see where it says 5%, and then you see 9%, 95%, and you see like a border, just a line. Now, on the 5% of wealth, this is where 95% of the population stays. And that means you have a job, you're an employee, so you trade time for money, or you're self-employed and you own your job. So, you know, people like doctors and lawyers who have their own firms and stuff like that, but they're still trading time for money, right? And on this side, 95% of the population sits here. okay, and only has 5% of the wealth. That's really crazy, right? Now, on the other side, you have business owners, and business owners own their own systems, right? So they have a system and they trade that for money. And then you have investors. Now, investors, they trade money for more money, which is really cool. And now 95% of the wealth sits on this side, and only 5% of the population is over here. Now, this is what I really want you to understand. Do you want to be on the 95 that only has 5% of the wealth, or do you want to be on the 95% of the wealth that only 5% of the population sits on? After reading this book, I decided that I really wanted to help more people that were on the 95 bring themselves over to being a business owner and to being an investor. Now, this is just some basic information right here that I really want you to think about, okay? And you should think about this from time to time when it comes to these things. And it's retirement, having a nest egg, right? And the reason that you really want to think about these things is because you're not going to want to work for the rest of your life, you know? Most people want to retire, and we're just going to use hypotheticals, of course, okay? We're going to say that, you know, that life expectancy right now in the US is about 80 years old, right? All right. And most people want to retire by 60. So they want to have 20 years of really 20 years of really having fun. I think I just told that you can't hear me. You know, today's oh no, you can hear me. Okay. Honestly, is to create a plan, right? That's the main objective. All right. So I thought you couldn't hear me. Someone told me they can't hear me. If you can't hear it, just log out and then log back in, because I just had to make sure that you can actually hear me. But from my understanding, you can hear me because I just put it on speaker just to make sure. But like I was saying, what I want you to do is to really think about this. If you want to spend 20 years of having fun and being retired, what does that really look like for you? And here's a couple of questions that you should also think about that I'm not really going to get into, but you should definitely think about. Will you be paying higher in taxes or lower in taxes in retirement? Or will you need more or less money when it comes to retiring? So again, these are just hypotheticals, and we want to think 20 years. How much money do you need for 20 years? And these are just small numbers that you can think about. Small numbers that you can think about for. Can you make sure that you can hear me? Can you hear me? Huh? You can't hear me on the call? You can't hear me at all? Hold on, guys, because I've been told that you can't hear me. So bear with me a second. Why didn't you tell me you couldn't hear me? Testing, testing. It looks like everything is fine. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm going to hop back into it because I feel like you can hear me on the actual live stream. So I'm going to hop back on. Yeah, we're going to go back to where we were at. Okay. Actually, right here. So I'm hoping that you can hear me. That is my hope. If anything, I'll just redo it. I have no problem doing that too. So like I was saying, anyways, because we've taken up some time. So most people want to retire about 60. That's just hypothetical, of course. We're always thinking just hypothetical. And that leaves you 20 years still to really have to be getting stuff done, okay, that you're going to need enough money for 20 years, okay? So we're just going to use these numbers because I'm not sure what you want to be doing in those 20 years, but I really want to have some fun. I want to do some awesome stuff. And if you really want to eat out, you know, really enjoy life, you're going to need at least 75 grand. We're just using hypotheticals, of course, but like 75 grand in over 20 years, if you times that by 20, that's a half a million, that's $1,500,000 that you're going to need, right? And we really have to figure out how we're going to get that kind of capital in that short amount of time, you know, in the time that we have. You know, it's something to really think about. How are you going to actually build that wealth right now so that you can actually enjoy that time? So we're going to jump into some things. And one of the biggest things that, that I'm going to tell you about is, well, this is the question that you need to ask yourself first. You know, what can you do? What can you do to make sure that you're having the time of your life when you're ready to retire? This is one of them. This beautiful, beautiful word, and it's called compounding. And I'm going to give you a little brief understanding of what it is. Compound interest is when an investor earns on his original investment. And I mean, and then not only does he do that, plus all the interest, that that's earned on the interest that's accumulated over the time. And if you think about that in a simpler way of thinking, I'm going to give you an example. If you have your money in a bank account, and we're going to use this round number because I'm not very good with numbers, so we're going to say 10,000. If you have $10,000 in a bank and you get simple interest on that over the course of 3 years, you will only get $1,500. Okay, that's it, $1,500 on simple interest. Now, the power of compound interest is if you had that on the same money you would earn over 3 years, you would get not just $1,500, you would get $1,576 and a couple of pennies, because you're earning on the interest that's accumulated over every year. Now, that doesn't sound so exciting in 3 years, but what we're going to do is we're really going to look at that over a longer period of time. We're going to say 15 years. Okay, so we're going to look at compounding interest over the course of 15 years in different examples, and then we're going to jump into some ways that you can actually utilize that. Now, right here, I have this really cool guy. His name is Albert Einstein, and one of the things he says is compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Now, let's look at what investing can do for you over the course of 15 years with that same 10,000, because I'm not saying that you have it, but there's so many different ways that you can actually earn $10,000 to put aside for yourself. And it can be as little as putting away like $200 a week, you know, and we'll talk more about that later on in the other slides. But, you know, it's very simple. Over 52 weeks, you can get about 10 grand, you know, a little over 10 grand if you put away that kind of money every single week. That's the beauty in just knowing your finances, but we'll talk more about that. So let's talk about this round number, this $10,000, right? So $10,000 with compounding over 15 years with $0 added to it, with a 10% increase, right, on the interest rate. The interest rate is now going to be 10% versus that 5. That's $44,000 and 44,000, like about $44,000 compounded on a monthly basis that you'd get over the course of 15 years. That is beautiful. That's like free money right there. And if you really want to look at it, how much free money you got out of that just by using this compound interest, you're looking at maybe 34. So $34,000. Beautiful. And just so you know, the way that I calculated this is using a compound interest calculator, and literally you can find that anywhere on the internet. I promise you that. Now we're going to do some other numbers, some other examples, just so you can see the power of what compounding is really all about, because I literally love it. And understanding it is so beautiful. So now we're still going to use that same $10,000. And if you add $5,000 a year, right? I mean, yeah, every single year, $5,000 over the course of 15 years with that same 10%, you get about $218,000 compounded on a monthly basis. Now you say, wait a minute, Tamika, I added money to that. I added money to that. I understand that. So let's subtract that money so that you can see how much free money you got. So we're going to subtract the $75,000 that you put in over the course of 15 years, plus the initial investment, which was $10,000, and we get a whopping $133,000. That is beautiful. And you know, that's just over the course of 15 years and adding some money to it. We're going to look at a couple more examples. And this one is, again, the same $10,000 with $0 added over 15 years, but we're going to do the interest rate at 20%. That's $195,000 compounded on a monthly basis, and that's with you adding nothing to it. So only your initial investment. So basically, that's $185,000 of free money over the course of 15 years. I'm only going to do a couple more of these. Now, of course, you know, that was without adding money. Let's look at what it looks like with adding money, okay? So $10,000 with your initial investment over, and you're adding $5,000 yearly over 15 years with 20% interest, that's $668,000 compounded. That's beautiful. Now, again, you're going to say, you know, Tamika, I did add some money to that. And I get it. Let's do the subtraction on that. So your initial investment was 660, you got out of it 668,000. Let's minus that 75,000 and your initial investment. So out of that free money over 15 years, you're getting $583,000. Free money, just from the power of compounding. Now, this is going to be the next example. These are going to be the last two examples that I'm going to use for you, just so you can really see the power of what it really looks like. Now, we're going to go back with that same $10,000, okay? And we're going to have no money added over 15 years, but we're going to say the interest rate is 45%, okay? That is a whopping $7 million, okay? $7.5 million on a monthly basis. That's beautiful, okay? With no initial, no adding anything on that. Now let's do the numbers with us adding money on that, and then we'll see where we're at. This is the last one that I'm gonna do actually. So that's $10,000, right? Your initial investment, adding $5,000 a year. If you really think about that $5,000 a year, that's about $500 a month, you know, just so you know, so you can see that it's not really a crazy number. Over the course of 15 years, that 45% interest, that's $16 million, guys. Now, I know you added some money, so let's subtract that money. And when you subtract that 7,500 and also the initial investment of 10,000, you still have $16 million of free money. That is the power of compound interest. Now, most people like to use regular banks, you know, and that's cool. Energy and your money is just catching dust. Why not learn how to actually utilize some tools and some technology that can help you have your money work for you? And we're going to really talk about these awesome people who showed me how to do this, and I'm not saying that our program is the only program that you can use, but this is one of the best programs that I've seen, and there's so many other ones that you can look into, there's different ways to do it, but make sure that you're creating a plan of success for you and your family. Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit about these people that you see in front of you, these amazing people. This is Ryan Smith, Chad Miller, and Annette Rayner. These are our founders. And we also have Mario Romano. They are all business-minded people. They've had national trading companies. Annette actually has a Series 65, which is really cool. And she's also an investor. Mario's also been on Wall Street for like 30 plus years. So they're just really awesome business-minded people who came together and decided to create a mission for the middle and poor class, and it's very simple. They want to help people understand how to find money, grow money, and then keep money. So on the find side of things, we really want to think about that $5,000 that I was telling you to add on a yearly basis with the tools that we have. And this awesome guy, Ross Jardine gives you the understanding of what you're doing with your money and how you can do different ways of saving, budgeting, money basics, things that you need to understand. Then we partnered with the deductor so you can really see what you're doing with your money. You can see how thin you're making this your income going, where it's actually going. So we aggregate all of your money and you can literally see everything in one glance and understand where you can pull that $500 out a month to actually put away for your retirement or for your kids. I have kids, so I really think about how I'm going to better their future. But yeah, so this is the find portion of things. So we really want to help you find what you're doing with your money. So money management is a very key and important piece of how you're actually going to be able to have the retirement plan that you want later on in life. Now, of course, after you find it, we want to help you grow your money, right? And we have the best strategies and systems to growing your personal wealth. We have the Forex market and we have the equities markets. Now, the Forex market is so beautiful. It's the most liquid market in the world. $5.3 trillion traded. And it's just amazing. It's so beautiful how it moves, and it's just currency. It's our dollar versus other dollars, other countries' dollars, which is, it's just amazing how it works. And of course, we can get into that later on and talk more about what that looks like. Now with Forex, with us, you can use the Forex alerts. We have binary options, and then we have these cool, innovative trading assistant tools, which are so dope. And we'll get into a little bit of that. And then for the equity side of things, we have the portfolio builder, which is long-term wealth building. And the experts that actually help us with this are just phenomenal. They're so intelligent and they've taught me so much. This single mom who used to be a stereotype, so much information that they have given me. Then we have the equities alerts. Now, these are all really cool ways to growing your personal wealth. So remember that interest rate that we were talking about? This is what you're actually going to be utilizing if you partner with us on how you can actually get your personal wealth growing. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do. I literally just took the performance on each one off of our actual website so that you can see what we're actually doing, okay? Now, the FX1, it is phenomenal and it's so hands-on. And if you decided that you really want to be a part of the market and really learn and see how experts do things, this is the best tool that you could ever use. I promise. I love it. I shouldn't say the best, I'm not supposed to, but I literally love this. I've learned so much from these webinars. Literally, you get on and you get such a hands-on, like, active learning time with the experts, where you get to see why they pick and choose the trades that they're actually going into, and you get to use your phone or computer, whichever one you have, and place the same trades that they're placing at the exact same time. That's so cool, you know? And this is at a 3.9 right now. Okay. So, and we basically, our winning ratio, as you can see on here, is a 67.2%, 0.20%. So we win a lot more than we would ever lose, you know. But the FX1 is something, if you really wanted to get that right now money, this is the way to go. Now, this program here is so beautiful. This is called the Rise. The Rise is awesome. As you can see, I put a chart on here from when we began and to where we're at right now. As you can see, even if you didn't know how to trade, this is what you would want to see. You would want to see the money going up. You would want to see that line rising at all times. You would never want to see it going down. So this is something that any investor would absolutely love. You know what I'm saying? This is beautiful. So with this, this this is a more hands-off approach, and literally all you're doing is placing you're putting all your information in, and this is a managed account, so the company is actually managing this. And the Rise is literally a liquidity provider. It's a really cool term, but literally you need lots of money normally to be a part of some technology like this. But because we have the backing of some amazing people, we get to utilize things like this. So here we go. Just look at the numbers. We started this account with $260,000, right? And we've gained $59,000 in over 7 months. You know, the new balance is $319,000. Come on, guys. You know, this is just beautiful. And the equity right now is 14 grand. So this is just beautiful. You know, I literally love this because literally all I do is log in, look at it, and close it out. This is for that person that has a really super busy schedule and does not have time to, you know, go in and do the more hands-on approach. This is definitely a more hands-off approach. So if that's something you're looking for, this is where you need to be. And these are for the Forex market. Now, this is equities. Equities is the bread and butter of this company. I literally love equities. It's beautiful, and it does some amazing things. I did not put the slide on to show you what we started with, but I know that we started with about $10,000, and over the course of 3 years, it was like up $90,000. So, you know, it's beautiful what you can really do with this. Equities is so much fun because it's like the broader markets. So that's like options, that's like the S&P 500, and the experts who teach you all of these amazing things and do all the hard, heavy lifting work for you just makes it a blast to learn this at your own pace. Now, the awesome thing about the equities alerts is that it's on an automated version. So like you literally don't have to put the trades in yourself. You do have to have more capital to get started with this, but you don't have to. Again, you can have a more hands-off approach if you choose to, you know. And that's the beauty in what this is, because this is, you know, this is for the moms, for the people who work 9 to 5 and are just tired and just would rather have their money work for them and take a nap or watch Netflix. You know, these are the tools that you would use. Now, the reason that I told you about that interest rate, again, I want to break it down. If you break down that number, that 45% that I gave you, if you do that over the course of 12 months, you know, that's a little over 3.5%, right? Now, I showed you all those numbers, so if you don't remember them, you can definitely rewind later, but look at what that looks like, okay? So for equities, we have a 3.5 growth on a monthly basis. For the Rise, it's like a 2.8 on a monthly basis. And then for binaries, the FX1, it's a 6.9. You know, these are just numbers, you know. Past performance doesn't guarantee future ones, but I would rather give you the truth of what it is. And I'd rather be with a winning team than a losing one any day of the week. And this is just one, these are just some options that you can use. If you don't like these options, find your own options, but these are some amazing options that you can actually utilize. And there's so much more coming that's going to be added. I'm not going to mention it on this one. Maybe next week I'll mention it so that you can have more insight on the other tools that we're going to be using. But these are the tools that we use to grow our wealth. I told you there was three parts to this mission that the founders had, and this is the third part, the keep portion. And we're gonna go back to the deductor because this was a great partnership. Most people don't like talking about taxes, but the deductor really helps you. It really helps you record, track your expenses. It helps you track your mileage. It helps you track time that you take during activities. But the deductor, what it really does is it can help you like capture, document, and organizes your expenses when it's related to your business, honestly, right from your phone. And it's a beautiful thing because most people, when it comes to tax time, you either procrastinate or you get all this stress. You have a box full of receipts. Let's get away with all of that. Like, throw all those things out and let's not have the stress. Use your phone. Your smartphone is meant to be smart, not dumb. Help it create a way for you to make money, keep money, and definitely grow your money. It's just the tool that you should use. But yeah, the deductor is super awesome. Now, this is probably literally my favorite part of this company. Wealth Generators has this amazing, amazing university in the back office that you get to interact with all of the different experts, all of the different leaders within the company, so many people, and it's really amazing. Um, it's really amazing what you can actually do with them. I literally love everything about them. Can't see anything? Oh my gosh. Well, so I guess I've been talking this whole time and you couldn't see anything. So I guess I'm going to redo this. But I will definitely continue talking just so that you can hear the rest of it. But with the actual webinars, with the university, you have the ability to learn so much information, and it's just very exciting what you can actually learn in the back office. You learn so much about trading. You learn about just your personal self. That's where I learned how to start reading books, about being bettering myself, but there's just so much knowledge back there, and I definitely want you to have it. And I can tell you this, there's this other cool guy, his name is Warren Buffett, and he says, the most important investment you can make is in yourself. And I literally believe that. And I have this really cool slide. You can't see it, but I'm going to redo this whole thing just so that you can actually have access to it. But, being a single mom and living the life that I lived was really hard, and I got to learn some amazing things from some great people. And it was just me taking a chance on myself, and I've been able to do some great things with this company. And I just, know that everyone deserves a second chance and deserves to do more in life, if they choose to. And that's what I got to do. So I will tell you that, yeah, that's all the information that I have for you. And whoever asked you to come on, you should definitely get back in touch with them and just have an awesome day and get started. And if this, again, like I said, like if this plan doesn't work for you, then you should definitely figure out a way for if it doesn't work for you, you need to figure out a way to learn more about compounding interest, because you need that in your life. So if you don't like this one, find one that suits you. Now I'm going to have a couple of people hop on. Let's see if they got on yet, because I just realized that you've been looking at my face this whole time. Sorry, I thought my face wasn't here. But I'm just going to make sure that they hopped on really quick. Really, really quick, really quick, really quick. And we're going to try to make sure that this technology works. Awesome. Hold on one second. Oh, Julian. So I have a special guest on. His name is Julian Doam. He is awesome. Julian, I don't see you though, so I'm going to send you this link. I thought I would be able to see you here. You should be in this side with me. I should see your little thing, but I'm going to send you this really quickly. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. I'm surprised. I thought I sent the right one out. I'm not very good with technology. I'm good with talking, but not good with technology. So I'm just gonna, I want you guys to meet this awesome guy. He's super cool. And I think that it's someone that you can definitely, just admire, because I do. And he's just so awesome. He's taught me so much. And I'm going to send you this link really quickly, Julian. Really quick, really quick. All right. Let's hope this goes through so that we can connect. Oh, there we go. All right, so it's right here. If you check your Facebook Messenger app, Julian, I'm sending you a link right now that should put you right on with me. I hope that worked. Let's see. So we'll wait a couple seconds and see if we got Julian to come on. And there he is.
Here I am.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
Good, good. How are you? I like your hair.
I'm doing awesome, awesome. Okay, so I just went through the whole plan and talked a lot about compounding interest and what it looks like to really think about retirement, because, you know, most people don't think about these things. And, you know, we have a great plan on how that can actually happen for people. So I just would love people to know your story, a little bit about you, and then more about like how the products works for you and for all the people that you've helped around the world.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, hey, what's up, everybody? First and foremost, I want to give it back up to Tamika. Honestly, because she's one of the hardest working people I know. She's all the way out there in Boston, pioneering a marketplace. And, you know, what's really cool about that is, you know, when you're pioneering a marketplace, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be challenges because you're starting it up. But the cool thing is that when you start something up, you take ownership of it. It's yours. And, you know, one thing I can say about Tamika is not only just being a mom, but she's a strong, powerful woman that takes charge. Is constantly reevaluating herself, constantly recreating herself, evolving herself. And, you know, I can't give her enough credit. So for those of you that are already part of the team or thinking about joining the team, I can't think of anybody better to partner up with than her. Because, you know, a lot of times we want to work with people that are already there. And yes, it's important to work with people that have the results. But you know what? It's even more important to work with the people that are in the trenches, that are on their way to the top. I don't know if that makes sense or not, because you know what? Not all the wolves on the top of the hill are hungry, but the wolves that are on the way to the top are always hungry. And you know, that's what Tamika is. And so I can't give her enough credit. But so for those of you guys that's joining in, my name is Julian Doam. Yes, I'm Asian. I know I look kind of young, but I'm 30 years old. I've been in sales and marketing since I was 18 years old, 12 years now. And, you know, she did a phenomenal job talking about the services, the company, the comp plan. And, you know, the company's great. And I kind of want to share with you a little bit my story, because my appreciation for this industry is a little bit different than most, because I didn't get started because I wanted to make a lot of money. I didn't get started because I wanted the time freedom. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that some of you are taking a look at this. You're like, yeah, I can make money. This is why I want to do it. Investments are great. Setting up my future, you know, time freedom so I can spend more time with my kids, whatever it is. But for me, I didn't feel any that way at all, because when I got started at 18 years old, I want to let you guys know I was a loser. Okay. Like, I was a loser. Now you might say, well, Julian, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, how bad could you really be? You know, I was a huge geek. I was a nerd. My 18th birthday, I only had 2 friends show up. So I just want to give you an idea that I was not the type of person that you would think would succeed in something like this. In fact, the person that invited me to take a look at my first meeting didn't even want me to come. Does that make sense? They were inviting one of my friends, and he didn't want to go. And I said, can I go? And he looked at me and he says, no, I don't think this is for you. So think about that right off the bat. When we take a look at sales and marketing, we think that they try to get everybody. So to paint you a picture, they didn't want me because they didn't think I would be good at it. And I pretty much told them, I was like, hey man, why don't you just, if you take me, I'll pay you, right? I mean, we all been bribed to go to things before. I had to bribe the person to take me. He didn't bribe me to come. I had to bribe the person to take me, because, you know, I was a nerd. I was a geek. I was like the Asian kid that ran like Naruto to class with his arms behind his back, you know what I mean? Playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, you know what I mean? I didn't get good grades because I spent all my time playing video games. And I know that's cool now. If you're young, you're probably like, yeah, that's what everybody does now. But, you know, when I graduated high school in 2005, that was not the cool thing to do. And so when I saw this industry, what really stood out to me was how positive everybody was. I was like, man, these people are talking about things I've never heard before. You know, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. You could be whoever you want. You can recreate yourself. You can, you know, do have anything. Like, I've never heard these things before. In fact, the environment I grew up in a city called Riverside, California. I had no Asian friends. Most people that grow up in my city never leave the city. And most people that grow up in my city, they end up working at grocery stores, convenience stores, becoming auto mechanics, or whatever it is. That's the story of most people. They don't own their own businesses. They don't become successful. They don't become wealthy. That just doesn't happen. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. Here's a little side note. You never know how ghetto your area is when you grew up until you leave the area. And then you come back and you're like, I don't remember it looking like this. And then it always looked like that. Like, that gives you an idea of where I grew up. And so when I got started in network marketing, here's what I saw. I saw an environment where people said you can grow, you could develop, you could be whoever you want. That doesn't matter who you are when you start. What matters is who you want to be at the end. And so I got started because I just loved the environment. I got started because I said, man, these people are a hell of a lot better than the people I surround myself with. They're positive. You know, they set goals. They talk about dreams. And I just wanted to be around that because I was tired of being around the negativity that I was always around. Now, I'm also going to share with you, I didn't have success right away. You know, being in sales and marketing for 12 years, my first 5 years, I made zero money. You know, I experienced all the negative things that you probably think about when it comes to, you know, the stereotypes of this industry. Like, oh, they only care about numbers. You know, they're just trying to get you in, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I've seen some of that. And so being in my 5th year of business, I found a gentleman named Cliff Braun who actually became the master trainer of WG. He's one of the reasons why I'm here. And he completely changed my life. He was the first person that didn't treat me like a number. He treated me like an actual person, you know, that actually put time in to develop me and work with me. And he saw something in me that I didn't see myself, and that was something valuable, to be around people that see that, because we're used to being around people that see us for where we're at, and they hold us to that. They hold us to our past. I mean, it's so hard to change. I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are on this right now, you know what I mean, you have goals and dreams, and every time you try to change or make adjustments, your friends look at you and like, are you really going to do it? Are you really serious? And then we get discouraged and then we quit. And he was the first person that held me to who I wanted to be. And what's crazy, my first 5 years didn't make any money. The 5 years after that, I earned close to $1 million in this industry. Made it all, lost it all these different things. And when I found WG, here's what I liked about it. You know, I sold lotions and potions. You know, I've done all that. But what I love about WG is we don't hide the fact of why we're here. You know, there's people that go, man, I'm here because I love the product. I love the energy drink. The energy drink's awesome, you know, whatever it is, right? I love Bang. Anyways, sponsor me. But you know, I love the energy drink. But, you know, if they weren't in the company, they wouldn't drink the product. And they're there because they want a financial opportunity. They're there because they want the lifestyle. Well, WG answers a huge problem that society has. And the huge problem that society has is not just education, it's financial education, right? Most people don't know how to make money. Fewer people know how to keep it. Almost no one knows how to multiply it. And WG Services educates people on how to do that, on how to make money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money, which everybody on this call can agree are skills that we need to have. I'm pretty sure every single person, if I asked you, I was like, how many of you can agree with me? Learning how to make money, manage money, and multiply money is something important. I'm pretty sure no one's going to say, nah, you know what? I don't think that's important. Everybody would agree. But the challenge is, the reason why most people don't learn it is because it's intimidating and most people don't know where to start. And what WG does that's so phenomenal is that it's an educational platform that no matter where you're at, it's meant for the average person. Taking Wall Street to Main Street, even making millions of dollars. Dude, to be honest, I never invested because I was scared. I was like, what are the risks? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. And what WG allows you to do with binary options, with the equities, or any of our services is that not only can you copy the trades of the experts, many companies can do that, but they teach you their strategies on why they're doing the trades that they're doing. So that way, not only are you copying them, but you're learning their skills, you're learning the pattern so you can fundamentally do it yourself. We're not giving you a fish. That's what a lot of companies do. They give you a fish. Here's the trade alert, do it. That's giving you a fish. But what happens is the company's gone or the group's gone or the mentors are gone. Then how are you going to trade? You can't. So what we're doing is we're teaching people how to teach people how to fish, which is powerful. And, with the binary options, we have people making an extra $50 to an extra $500 a day. I have a guy in the UK. His name is Shaf. He's making 15,000 pounds a week just through the binary options, right? That translates to about 10,000 US. Now, here's what's crazy about that. He's not a recruiter, right? Most people's objections. You're like, well, I don't know if I can do WG. I don't know if I can recruit people. I don't know if I can sell people. You don't have to. We have a company where you can make money without recruiting or selling. We answer the biggest fear that most people have, right? So you just use our binary options, right? You can start with small trades like $10 or whatever it is, whatever you're comfortable with, right? And you can start trading, you can start making some extra money, pay your rent, whatever it is, pay your bills. Imagine making extra money where, your job pays for your expenses, but the binary options pays for your lifestyle, whatever it is. You're learning a skill that you can pass on. So there's the binary options. Then you have the cryptocurrency, which is changing the game. Now, what's cool about crypto, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard a lot about cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Here's how most companies work. Most companies, you buy the crypto. You buy the currency, right? So the way I look at it is, I don't know if Tamika showed you this video. We have this amazing video that explains it so well. It's like, I'm pretty sure everybody heard the story about the goose that lays the golden egg, right? Now, the goose lays the golden egg. The farmer takes the egg. He sells it and makes a lot of money. One day he gets pissed off at the goose, kills the goose, and then guess what? No more golden eggs. Now, if I were to ask you what's more valuable, the egg or the goose, everybody would say it was the goose because the goose is the one that produces the eggs. Well, here's the difference between us and other companies. Most companies, when you're participating in their cryptocurrency program, you're just buying the golden egg. And actually, you're not really buying the golden egg. What you're doing is you're paying for the value of the golden egg, and then over 90 days, they give you a piece of that golden egg, and after 90 days, you have the whole egg. And you're like, why would they do that? Because your money, they're taking it to pay other people. Well, what we do is a little bit different. What we do is we lease the goose to you, okay? We lease the goose to you. So it's not your goose, it's still our goose, but we lease the goose to you. And what happens is now that whatever the eggs the goose produces, it's yours. So you're not buying the egg, you're leasing the goose, and you get to keep all the eggs the goose produces, and then you can sell it at a later time as the value goes up or whatever it is as you choose. And that's what's valuable about it. So binary, I say, is the right now money. The crypto is the long-term money. But I don't want to overshadow that because a lot of times people forget that we have other services too. And the other services, I honestly say, is just as important as those services, like how to manage your money. WG Money tracks your expenses, lets you know how to get out of debt faster and how much you can save on interest. And then you have our deductor app, which tracks all your expenses so you can see where your money goes. And when you actually track the metrics of where your money goes, you'll be surprised on how much money you actually would have if you weren't spending it on stupid shit, right? And, excuse my language, but not excuse my language, but that's really what it is. I'm saying that for dramatic effect because so many people complain that they don't have enough money, But the reality is we actually have more money than we realize. We just don't realize where it's going. See, a lot of people think when we spend $1,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse, that's a waste of money. I'm pretty sure some people are like, I would never do that. But what we don't realize is that every month, some of us are buying Louis Vuitton shoes and purses. We don't realize it because we're spending bits and pieces everywhere, and it adds up. So little things like, man, I didn't know I was spending so much money eating out. Maybe I should just meal prep at home. It's way less money and I can have more money to do things I enjoy. So we're teaching people how to do that. And notice, not once did I talk about recruiting. Notice not once did I talk about building the actual business. These are just using our services. That's what's valuable about getting started in WG. And through using the services, here's what happens. Naturally, you get excited and you believe in it and you start telling people about it. And then when you start naturally telling people about it, what happens is on top of all those things that you're already earning, you're now earning money through the business as well. And that's what's exciting about it. That's why I love it. Because you know what? I don't love finances. Numbers scare me. I know I'm Asian. I'm not good at math. You know what I mean? That's just a stereotype that they have. But I'm not good at numbers. I'm not good at math. And the reason why I love WG, it takes the guesswork out of it and makes it simple for someone like me. Because let me tell you something, I don't like hustling every day. I'm not one of those network marketers that's going to post every freaking meeting that I'm doing online, showing you how hard I work and all that stuff. Because reality is I do work hard. But you know what? I'd rather show you, man, what we can enjoy through that. Because I don't like hustling. I do like hustling, but I don't like doing it 24/7. I'm hustling 24/7 now. Why? So I can enjoy the life that I want. Because you know what's important to me? My body. What's important to me is my being, my balance, my spirituality, you know what I mean? My relationships. But let's not make a mistake about it. I met people that are really spiritually connected. They take really good care of their bodies, they're fit, or whatever it is. They have great relationships. But the reason why the business is important, because the money and the time freedom from the business can fuel to evolve all the other areas of your life. And that's why I think this business is so important. And I'm not here to knock jobs. I think jobs are great, the starting point. But let me tell you, the only thing that I don't like about jobs, you're not in control. No matter how great your job is, you and I can agree that if you have a job, you're not in control. You're not in control of your time. You're not in control of your money. And you can never truly create the lifestyle you want if you're not in control. That's just the reality of it. Now, when you have a business, you are in control. And it's scary because in the beginning, you have to put a lot of work. But if you have the right mentors, you lock arms to the right people like Tamika, like myself, and you have the right system, here's what happens. You start taking control of your time. You start taking control of your money. And through that, you can start creating the life that you actually want on your terms. And that's what's important to me, living life on my terms. Because I don't know what religion you have or whatever it is. And to be honest, it doesn't matter, right? We're all human beings under the sky, under heaven's sky. But at the end of the day, I don't know where we're going to go when it's all over. And all I know is I don't want to live a life of regrets. And I want to take care of the people that I have in my life while I'm here. I want to take care of my life while I'm here. And more importantly, I want to collect as many experiences, as many stories as I can. I don't want to just, at the end of the day, when they go, man, describe me your life. And I don't want to say, man, I worked for 40 years of my life slaving away for bills and paychecks and, you know what I mean? Just sedating myself every day, being numb and not really enjoying life. And, no one plans that, but that's really what happens. People settle. I'm pretty sure some of you who are on this call have met people that have no goals, no dreams, nothing they're passionate about, no sense of purpose. And I don't think that's a way to live. And, if that's you, hey man, let's get that purpose back. Let's figure out what it is that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be this, but let me tell you, this can fuel whatever that is for you. So, that's pretty much my spiel. I'm pretty sure I talked a lot already, kind of rambling on, but whatever comes up, comes up. And, but I'm excited, guys. You know what I mean? Boston's going to be huge. I heard Tamika's planning a huge event, in January. So I'm gonna check my schedule for that. But let me tell you something, 2018 is going to be a huge year. This might be the first time you hear about WG, but it's definitely not going to be the last time you hear about it. And my promise to you is every time you hear about it after this, it's going to suck more and more and more if you're not in the business, okay? Let me tell you why. Because every time you hear about it, chances are you're going to hear about it from a different friend, from a different person. And you know what? That person could have been under you, but you know what? They're going to tell you about it. They're going to tell you about it. And every time they tell you about it, you're going to think of Tamika, or you're going to think about the person that invited you. You know what's going to happen? Every time they tell you about it, that person, Tamika, or whoever invited you, is probably going to be a little bit more successful, a little bit more successful, a little bit more successful. And before you know it, it's like, I already heard about it. I know Tamika already. I've seen, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my God, Tamika, the queen of Boston, the person that's clearing $50,000 a month, boss lady driving a Ferrari or whatever it is. I don't know what she's into, right? I'm not saying, Ferraris are the deal. But, and you're like, her? And then you're going to be like, wait, she's living what? She's doing what now? I was just on a webinar when she was just doing it at her house. Yeah, that story happens all the time. And, you know what I mean? This can be either the greatest success story for you or your biggest regret. But either way, just be clear in your decisions so that way there are no regrets, right? But hey, wouldn't it be better to do it and find out it didn't work than to not do it and find out it worked? That's all I'm saying. You'll never know if you never try. So thank you, guys. Tamika, back to you.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You just like that I talked about you in a Ferrari. I see it though. I see
That
it.
was good. That was good. That was good. That was good. That was one of my favorite pieces. But yeah, I'm so excited. You made me laugh. He's really an awesome guy. I wish you guys could just meet him and get to know him. I can't wait for him to come to Boston. But he is super awesome. And these are the kind
Boston.
of people that you meet.
Boston. I'm just kidding.
These are the kind of people that you get to meet and interact with. People that you would never, we would really, like literally, we live on the other sides of the world. So we would have never got to meet each other. You know what I'm saying?
What
So,
she's saying is she doesn't hang out with Asian people.
yes, I do. I love Asians.
She doesn't trust us because our eyes are always so small. Like we're up to something. That's what she said.
That's not true. My Julie, and her last name is Nguyen. Yep, that's my boo. That's my boo. She's actually on here right now. But it's been so awesome. Thank you so much, Julian, for hopping on with me. Of course, I'm gonna do it again because none of the slides showed, and I worked very hard on the slides. So definitely gonna do another one just so that you guys can see all the numbers and everything that we have to offer in that side of it. But thank you so much again, Julian, for hopping on. I hope you guys have an awesome night. And again, like I said, compound interest is very important, and it's something that you should really think about. So have a great day, enjoy your life, and just think about your future. All right, have a good one.